Hi all, welcome to Chess 24/7 and you're encountering another stream for the weekend. And unfortunately, I've been diagnosed with dengue. The reports came in a few hours ago. But anyhow, my platelets count is it's decent, I would say, at the moment. With that said, I'm not sure if I would want to go for a few games. In fact, okay, one sec. Let me first of all add Spotify. Yep, yeah. Let me add Spotify to the stream. There we go. Let's go for a 10-0, or let me first solve a few puzzles maybe, and then I'll start with a few games. Mhm. I can capture on g4, but it's met with rook h5, and then my rook is on g4 is going to lose. So I only have got one move, it's king g6. Then I can capture on g4, king captures, and then maybe I can capture back. At least I'm winning a pawn in this position. Okay, this is another move. So what is the move? Let's see. Okay. So a rook sacrifice is looks like the best move I'm going to. Ooh, is it bishop check then? What's the solution? Let's start giving some time to the puzzle. Let's not rush into it. I always do that. Anyhow, so I have the bishop pair advantage, and technically I'm down of. I mean, if I talk about, I'm down the exchange. If you think about this, both black has 4 pawns, white also has 4 pawns, so I'm down a full piece here. But what about bishop g7 or bishop g7 or bishop e7? Because then I'm attacking the rook and also the bishop on f7. The only question is it going to be g7 or e7? I mean, e7 looks great because it improves my bishop's position. Also, I put my bishop on a better diagonal compared to g7. But let's see, bishop g7, and there's I would still play it on g7 though, because there could be some tactics if I played on e7. There could be some tactics because both of my all my pieces, my both my bishop and my king would be in the same on the same file. So let's go for this. And now, yeah. But let's see. Let me just quickly turn on the analysis board here. I want to see what's the problem with bishop e7 here. My bad. Bishop e7, but I'm taking the pawn, right? Yeah, nice. So idea is to create some sort of a wait. Did he capture on b5? Yeah, he did. If I capture this a pawn, this a4 pawn, can I stop that? Maybe with knight d3. The problem is it's a rook pawn. Let's say a3, and I have c2 covering a1. So that should be good, I believe. Come on. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Hmm. Nice. Okay, so the queen looks trapped here. There's some pressure on g4 right now. Let's see how can we proceed. I'm thinking about pushing the pawn further because even then, but then he can play f4 and create some sort of a way back for my opponent's queen. What about knight f3? Captures and then knight g5. Queen is it. That could be the way to go. Nice. Now they're protecting g5 here. But king h1, pawn g4, knight g1. Queen is still trapped, I believe. Nice. Okay, so this is some sort of a Vancouver position. But it's just that my king should be on one of these two squares, which is not there at the moment. What about c6? What about my bad? What about f3, c5, f2, check. I come back to let's say b1, b8, sorry. Then I promote, yeah, and then maybe I get to promote it, right? I get a queen there, and this rook basically would. I think f3 looks good here. f3 looks good. And now I can come to b6. However, he has got c5. Oh, he doesn't have c5 because of rook captures. But then rook captures. And I can capture the other pawn as well with check, and maybe then I have something to fight for. But king d6, c5, rook c5, he can play a7. I can still give him a check and then put my rook on a5. That would also work. Come on. What's the problem with king b6 here? Let's see. This doesn't work, right? Because now, in fact, I can just capture the pawn. Yeah. Maybe it's a draw here? Could be. So if I play king e5, he will play f6. And then king d5 and then king d7 could be the idea. However, so first of all, I have to resolve the tension here on the g5 square. I'm thinking about pushing for h5. Lock everything on the queen side. Let's say h5 if king d7. I can play something like king e5 maybe. King c7, king f6, king b6, captures the pawn on f7, captures on b5, king g6, and my pawn would take 3 moves to promote, and it would take 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, and another king move. This looks good because if I just capture and he captures, I'm kind of a Zook's rank. Come on. Wait, what's the problem with h5 here? Oh yeah. He comes back, I come back. He comes in c6 now. Maybe f6, yeah. Nice. That was a simple one. I should have looked into it. Knight s7, king s7, bishop h5. Check. Rook cannot capture because my queen is protecting the bishop. Bishop h5, check. Also I can capture on e5. However, bishop h5, if king goes to f8, pawn captures, check. King g8, and then I've got bishop check. Yeah, that looks better. Is this the right move? Yeah. Okay. So isn't d5 winning here? Oof, I'm not paying attention. I need to put some time into these puzzles. I've dropped from 2400 to 2360. Okay. So f7 is a soft square in this position. Bishop g6, let's say knight f7, bishop, knight f7, rook f7, bishop g6, pawn g6, queen check, rook g7 is there. The other idea will be knight e6, he's got queen e6 there. Also queen h3, queen h3, wow, that's amazing. Queen h3, how would you defend that? Queen h3, and then what? h5? Now this makes things a little interesting. Bishop g6, he cannot capture with the h pawn because of queen h3. Bishop g6, f captures, g6. The idea is that if I exchange with b7, I have to win the rook on b7 somehow. Knight f7, let's say rook f7. I think knight f7 doesn't work because my knight is doing a good job creating some threats around my opponent's king. Queen h3, h5. Bishop g6, pawn g6 is still there. And then what? Knight e6 maybe. Still I'm not sure if I get anything in return. And what about knight h7, king h7, bishop h, queen h3? I don't have anything there as well. Bishop b7, rook b7, queen f3. Let's say rook b8, knight d5 inside. Knight d5 is better, taking control of the f6 hole. Okay, wait, I'm getting a call. Okay, so yeah, Queen h3 h5, Bishop g6 f g6, knight e6. Ugh, this is tough, man. Bishop b7, rook b7, Queen h3 h5. Okay, wait. Knight f7, if rook f7, Bishop g6, h g6, Queen g6, check. If rook g7, Queen, then I have rook check. Yeah. Let's see. Knight f7. Also, knight h7 does the same trick because after rook f7, the problem is he can also capture with the king. Bishop g6, let's say, but then he has got rook, king e7 there, right? Yeah. So maybe knight h7, king h7, bishop g6, pawn takes, but then I don't have queen h6. Yeah. Let's see. Bishop f7, assuming that the rook takes, but what about king takes? Then bishop check. Again, the pawn can capture back. Oh wait, knight f7, if king takes, and bishop b7, rook b7, and knight f, queen f3, I win the rook. Yeah, let's go for this. What's the problem with that? Yeah, queen h3. But what's the issue with knight f7 here? Okay, what to say? So my rook is hit right now. Why did he move in the first place? Oh, so I'm playing with white pieces here, yeah? The other idea could be rook d5 and play f6. Sorry, c3 eventually. Wait, I'm playing with black pieces. Oh my goodness, this is so weird. Okay, so I'm playing with black pieces. Let's see. Rook, rook g1 check. King d2, rook d2 is mate. Rook g1, king c2, rook check. Has got king b2 or king b3. Let's say b2 should put some pressure. I can play c2 there. Yeah. And now I can play c2, can capture, and I also get a queen. But is this the right way? Because if I push, he can bring his other rook, and if I push, takes and takes. I mean, d2 looks good to me. I'll go for d2. I can still promote, right? And then capture with the bishop here. Nice. Okay, so knight g6 is something that's very tempting. King h7, knight f8, check. King g8. Oh, sorry, knight h7. Yeah, rook f8. And then bishop, queen f5, king h8. Also my rook on c2 is hit, so I need to take care of that. But I believe the pawn on c2 is not really getting promoted because I've got rook c1. Although, yeah, he's got bishop b2 at some point of time because once my knight moves from e5, bishop b2 is possible. So, knight g6. Let's see, queen h6 doesn't really work. Bishop h6. Knight g6, king h7, knight f8, check. Or, let's see, knight g6 check, king h7, and then queen f5. Let's say I get another move, and then I play something like knight f8. That's a mate. Well, that's not a mate. He has got king h8, but then queen h7 is a mate. Yeah? Knight g6, king h7, queen f5. How is he going to defend the mate on h7 then? Maybe he can move his bishop to... Because if he just captures, there's no check with the queen that gets promoted, but he has got bishop d4. I can still play bishop h1 there. Sorry, king h1. So let's go for knight g6 and queen f5. Now can we still go for that, because now g8 is available for my opponent's king. So knight f8 is there. Double check. If king h8, that's bad because of queen h7. So after knight f8, king g8 has to be played. After which I can play queen f7, because right now I don't get anything. So queen f7, pawn captures on b1, gets a new queen, and I don't get anything. So knight f8, king h8 is bad, so king g8, and then we capture, yeah. Now we capture on f7 with check. And after this, maybe I have got knight g6. Again, the same idea. Awesome. So rook g7 check. Looks very promising. I'm involving more pieces into the game. Rook g7 check. And if he comes on this on f8, that's bad because I pick up the rook with the check. So rook g7. But in fact, I can't move g7 because it's pinned. I didn't see that my rook is pinned. I didn't see the king on h2 there. So maybe. So if I play queen g6 check here, he has got only one square. That's king f8. At which point of time I can play queen g8 check. So yeah, queen g6, and now if I play g8, that queen g8, that should be a mate. Thanks to the pawn on d6. Awesome. Okay, I guess enough of the puzzles. Let's go for a 10-0 now. Yeah, so we are playing with white pieces. Let's go for d4, c4. I am the knight, I am the bat. Oh my bad, I didn't switch to the other scene on OBS. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll play only one game today. I'm not feeling well, that's why. Didn't get a good night's sleep last night, so yeah. If bishop b4 check, then I've got a few more. Knight c3, bishop d2, knight d2. Also, king e2, queen d2 is also possible. Okay. So the point is, if I play, so I'll play queen c3 here. I don't want to capture on c4. Sorry, I don't want to play bishop d3 because then he can capture on c4. Yeah, just waiting for him to capture on c4. Just a little subtle improvement that we can have. And I don't want to. Yeah. Now you can play. You can capture on c4 there, or maybe you can prepare a6 first. Let's castle first. And prepare b3 at some point of time, maybe. Get my bishop on b2. Or knight c3 is equally good. Or knight d2. Now knight b5 is possible. Let's defend that. There could be a tactic with knight pawn c4, bishop c4, takes, knight d4, knight d4. But after takes, I can also play queen c4. Okay, now he's planning to capture. Now b5 is not possible because knight on c6 is hanging. Knight c6, pawn e3, pawn d3, bishop knight e7 check, queen e7, queen d3, and then rook d8. Could be a follow-up here. Knight c6. Can I sacrifice the knight 7? So knight, yeah, I can't. If I capture on c4, knight captures, pawn captures, knight d7 could be played. Or in fact, maybe, yeah, let's go for this variation, knight c6. You can also capture on c6, that's possible. But then bishop c4 looks good there. Bishop c4, if knight d5 I have e4 there, in fact I can bring my rook there also, or knight c3 is equally good then. But yeah, bishop c4 is what I'm going to play. Now it's mandatory to capture on e7 first, and then capture on e3. If rook d8, okay, now that's, I can play queen e3 there. At least I don't want to play with the single isolated queen pawn. Queen h4, The idea is to kind of pin this knight. All knight d5 solves the issue here. But I have got b4 there. Threaten. Now I want to play bishop b2 there. And there could be queen g3 or queen g5 kind of moves here. Maybe knight c3 and eventual e4 at some point of time. If knight d5, queen g3 is there. If f6, okay, then e6 is weak. And then maybe I can play knight c3, complete my development. Captures. Or maybe not knight. If I play knight c3, queen f6 is there. Knight d5, queen b2. They're not on this very move, but the idea was if on the next move, let's say he defends it with, I don't know, queen f8 maybe. Okay, that's weird. Now this is a hole, right? Knight c3 and I can put my bishop on e5. If rook c8, I'll bring one of my rooks, probably the a rook, the c5. So he wants to play f4. Let's make sure that f4 is not possible. And now I'm threatening bishop d6 here. So I'm winning the rook on f8. If he pushes for something like that, I'll just take. If he captures, I take the rook, so I'm up a piece. If f4, then bishop e7 is the move. Yeah, okay, now I have to exchange the pieces. Let's go for it. Obviously he will not, but then I have rook c7 coming into picture. Fine, but then I can bring my other rook into the game. Rook's d7 is a threat now. Also, I have to make sure I don't fall for any bank rank mate. The other thing could be to make sure that I have to defend e5 also at some point of time, and also that I don't fall for any skewers or any fork with the knight square bishop. So he wants to play e5 here. It's maybe I can play. Okay, let's go for. And I'll make sure to put my. I blundered a rook. It's funny. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. Let's play h3 here. I don't want to capture on e7 because king e7 and he improves his king's position then. And now I don't have any back rank issues. And the reason I played h3 is because h2 is a dark square. I don't want to take any risk with g3 because then I'll be having a lot of dark light square weaknesses around my king. And now I can also think about capturing on a6 there. But then I'm afraid of e5. If e5 is ever played, okay, that's fine. Then I'll capture on a6 maybe. Because I'll be hitting the rook then. Yeah, I mean, there's no hurry to take the pawn on a6. Now it's going to fall anyhow, yeah? So that's the plan here. Okay, fine. Now I can outflank him on time. I mean, I can outplay him on time as well. Let's go for f3 and e4 maybe. Pawn captures, bishop captures. I've got something like rook f. Yeah, I have to sacrifice some material here to get a better chances of holding the position. And now I can play rook check. If king f6, then I can play the other rook. Okay, that's fine. And now rook g4 could be an idea if allowed. And then, but if bishop, let's say f6, avoiding, then I can play bishop rook b7 here. And if takes, I can capture on b4 with my pawn. If rook check, rook, yeah. And I have to make sure that I don't fall for any pressure over here, maybe. Okay, maybe. Let me just come here. The idea is to play rook c3 and then go for king g3. Because now there is no check available. And I get rid of. In fact, can I also go for an exchange here? But yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't see if h4, I can just play king f3 here maybe. There is no bishop e4, right? What for bishop h? King f3. This looks scary, but I can't take rook c2, so I have to be a little careful about that. Sure, man, you can. Why not? But I'm not sure if I can continue after this point of time because as I told you, I am having a little bit of. I mean, I'm not fail. And now what? Maybe I'll ping you, man. Just give me a moment. Right now, I'm in the middle of the game. King f3. Come on! How could this be a draw, man? I was winning this. It wasn't even a threefold repetition. I was this close to winning him. I don't feel like playing any more games here. How was this a draw? How was this a draw? Why was it a draw? Did we repeat the position or what? We didn't repeat the position thrice. Let's see. How should I proceed with this position out in the end game? Black is has Black doesn't have anything here. Okay, walking G1 here. Looks scary though. Now he's okay now rook B8 maybe. Hey Anson, yeah. Could you ping me your LHS ID? I will issue you a challenge. You can write it in the chat section. And I'm sorry for that reaction, man. I mean, this guy is rated quite. I mean, this guy is 2160. Yeah, and I was 2087, man. I was this close to winning the game, but I don't know what to say. I don't know if Anson TV is there online. I'll wait for him for the next 5 minutes. If he pings me his email or his username, I'll issue him a challenge. Otherwise, I'm going to end the stream. Let's see what's happening. Let's watch a few games maybe. Let's go for some rapid games. Ooh, wow. We have two GMs. Okay. So the idea is to put some more pressure on the C3 knight, maybe over here because it's pinned. And okay, maybe bishop B2 can work here. But then I would play F5 here, maybe. But if yeah, okay, F5, the knight moves to C5, bishop B2 could be played, and then not sure how to go about this. I think Enson is not there in the chat. Anyhow, guys, let's call it a day. It's been pretty eventful, I believe. I'm ending the stream too soon because